a heat wave in Southern California. The Houston Astros added to it with their offensive output. How about these first two games? Winning 13-6 last night. They have a total of 15 extra base hits through the first two, 8 long balls. That's 5 different players with home runs already. A great start to the season. The clubhouse feeling very good about what they've been able to do on the road as well. They look to continue that offensive output by also adding some pitching in there tonight in Game 3 of this series out at the Big A. This is opening week. It's presented by FTX, the official crypto exchange of Major League Baseball. We are in Anaheim, and the Astros looking to win their first series of the 2022 season here. If they can take Game 3 from the Halos, marquee pitching matchup coming up. Justin Verlander, Noah Syndergaard. But like I said, this team is feeling very good about what they've been able to accomplish just through the first 2 games alone, especially offensively. It's put them in a good spot. Also, seeing their rookie teammate Jeremy Pena come through with that first knock, first major league home run. They are looking to build on what they've started so far. It's all about adding that last piece of the puzzle now. It's the return of Justin Verlander. You can imagine the reaction of these guys when they found out he was re-signing with the club this offseason. They are looking forward to seeing what he does starting tonight. So I'm going to send it up with more on that to the guys in the booth. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum with the call. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Julia and Blummer. Once we got through the little surprise that Justin wasn't going to start opening day, once that surprise dissipated, we were excited to see this matchup tonight.
Yeah, you just want to see him on the mound. We don't care where it is. I know he's making history every time he goes out there on an opening day, but just to know that he's going to be in that rotation healthy is a beautiful thing.
Justin Verlander has missed 20 months plus another 8 days beyond that as he makes his first start since July of 2020.
Yeah, I would imagine there's going to be a little bit of nerves when he takes the mound. Coming back from that injury, it's always about getting over that mental hurdle. But from what we saw in spring training, he should get back to being Justin Verlander. I know maybe feeling a little bit under the weather. We'll have to keep an eye on that also. But if he's able to go out there and be efficient in the zone and get some swings and misses, he might just settle right back into being Justin Verlander, the guy that we've seen in that Astro uniform. Since wearing that Astro uniform, he's only struck out 690 batters, so he's looking to build on those numbers.
Last time Justin Verlander was here pitching against the Angels, he had a magical night. It was on the heels of that no-hitter in Toronto when he kind of solidified that Cy Young Award, getting to 300 strikeouts and 3,000 career strikeouts that night.
And what a place to do it. He's got great memories here, as you see, and as Todd has just told us, but this is a place where he feels comfortable. He knows this lineup very well. He knows how his stuff plays against these guys. So I think this is a very comfortable atmosphere. And oh yeah, if they do put the ball in play, the defense is pretty good behind Justin Verlander.
6 starts as an Astro in Angel Stadium. He is 6-0, and tonight he'll match up against Thor, Noah Syndergaard, the Thunder, and the Lightning. We have a great marquee matchup tonight. 2 guys returning from Tommy John. We'll see what they have in store in 2022 right around the corner. From your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors Houston and by Toyota. Let's go places. Get ready for Game 3 of this 4-game series. A very pleasant evening in Southern California. Astros winning the first 2 games of this set. And here's how they will line it up for Game 3. Leading off will be Jose Altuve, followed by the DH tonight, Michael Brantley. Nico Goodrum makes his first Astros start and hits third and plays first base. Yordan Alvarez in left field, Aledmus Diaz at third. Kyle Tucker in right field. Jeremy Pena, Jason Castro catching Justin Verlander for the first time. And Chas McCormick rounds out your lineup.
They're going to be facing veteran right-hander Noah Syndergaard. Spent a lot of time in that New York Mets uniform on the East Coast, now on the West Coast, signing a 1-year deal with these Los Angeles Anaheim Angels. Doing a good job of helping us stall for time as we talk about him making his debut in this stadium, his debut in the American League, and also his debut against the Houston Astros. A lot of firsts for Noah Syndergaard as he takes the mound here in Anaheim.
Well, the home plate umpire, Jansen Visconti, just explaining to Max Stassi it's not time for the game yet.
Man, it's a good thing Garrett Cole's not out here.
Thor was ready to go. There you see a couple of spring training starts. The Astros haven't seen him in a regular season game, but they have seen plenty of him in the spring.
They have seen him in the spring. They know that he is a high-octane type guy. He should pitch around the mid-90s, but also interesting, like you said earlier in the open, that this is a matchup between 2 pitchers who have high expectations for this season as they bounce back from Tommy John surgery.
Syndergaard waiting for the clock to turn from 6:07 to 6:08. It just did, so we're ready to go. Got to get all our information out before the first pitch.
I didn't know you had that much control over game times.
See Altuve early on in the series, 1 for 8 with a home run, swinging to the first pitch and popping one down the right field line. Long run for Rojas. Jose will get there to retire Jose Altuve. 1 pitch, 1 out for Syndergaard in his return to the mound. His first start ever as a member of the Angels. 2 guys tonight, Plummer, that rely on power and are both coming off Tommy John surgery. Syndergaard 29, Justin Verlander 39. It'll be interesting to see where the velo is for Syndergaard. It was upper 90s when he was a New York Met. It was mid 90s that couple of starts at the end of last season, and in spring training it was closer to the mid 90s. 95 with that fastball to Michael Brantley. Last year the Mets allowed Syndergaard to make a couple of starts, but they were 1-inning starts, and they told him not to throw anything but fastballs and changeups. Didn't want to put any pressure after the Tommy John surgery. Brantley lost one into right center field. Mike Trout calls off Jose Rojas and makes the catch, and 2 flyouts to start the game.
Some of the pitch usage from Noah Syndergaard in 2018-19, you can see against left-handed hitters, he is heavy on that fastball just like he is on that right-handed side. He loves the heater. It's what he does after that that is a little bit different. That slider breaking away from right-handed hitters is typically what he will go to. But against left-handed hitters, he does have a relatively decent changeup, especially when you're bringing it in the mid-90s.
He'll throw both the 4-seam and the sinker 2-seam fastball. He's alternated through his career, throwing one more than the other, but his last full season, 2019, he threw them almost exactly equally. Sinker 29.8%, 4-seamer 29.3%. Nico Goodrum making his first start. Goodrum got in the game last night. Astros jumped the Angels with a big 8-run 7th inning. Goodrum got an at-bat, struck out in his lone at-bat. Pinch hitting for Jose Altuve. Switch hitter batting left-handed against Syndergaard. Over from the Tigers in the offseason. Goodrum down to the count 1-2.
There's that changeup. Even though he pulled it to the inside corner, still good arm action on that to get Goodrum out in front.
Goodrum struggled early this spring, 0 for 9 with 8 strikeouts. Then he had a game where he had back-to-back doubles. Made the Astros roster after spending the last 3 seasons with the Detroit Tigers. Started his career with Minnesota in 17. Here's a little tapper. Syndergaard will make the play himself. Underhands it to Jared Walsh. And a good start for Noah Syndergaard. The long-awaited return of Justin Verlander. 624 days since his last start. He's already out there ready to go.
Cy Young Award winner. Here are his numbers in 4 starts in spring training. What's great about that, those numbers are obviously phenomenal, but I think the way that Justin Verlander's delivery was moving and the way the ball was jumping out of his hand is what gives us so much hope and is what could be for Justin Verlander in 22 as he leads this pitching staff. The velocity was great. Last time out in that last start in spring training through 77 pitches. They will definitely have a counter on him, but it's pretty exciting to be able to see him on the bump again in that Astros uniform.
The future Hall of Famer returns to the mound at age 39, has not thrown a pitch in 20 months and 16 days in a regular season game, and he delivers to the reigning MVP outside for ball 1. Shohei Ohtani with 4 career hits against Verlander, 2 of them home runs. Verlander delivers a strike. Home plate umpire Jansen Visconti has never umpired a Justin Verlander game behind the dish, and Jason Castro has never caught a Justin Verlander game. Castro becomes the 21st catcher of Verlander's career. Here's the FTX umpiring crew. Visconti behind the plate. Ryan Wills over first base. Ed Hickok's the crew chief, and Vic Carapazzo over third. 2-1 the count. Even though this is a veteran of 17 seasons, 6 now with the Houston Astros, there's got to be a little bit of nervous energy, you would think, having not been on the mound in a while, and he uses that nervous energy for a fastball on the outside corner for a swinging strike. It's 2-2.
That's a good sign right there, because that's a fastball count. Justin Brang it. You can see it on our MD Anderson strike zone, perfectly located on that outside corner for the swing and miss. Velocity and location, nice.
A lot of Verlander's family is here, including his brother and his parents in attendance tonight. Swing and a miss. Castro will go ahead and tag Ohtani. Ohtani claims he foul tipped that. At least that was his discussion was initially. But Jansen Visconti says no contact. That's a strikeout. Welcome back, Justin Verlander.
In a big way. And there on our matches from Supermo, you can see that fastball coming inside. That was a great pitch after working him away early in that at bat, then put him away with 95 on the inside corner.
So he goes from one MVP to another. Here's 3-time MVP Mike Trout, who has a lot of career at bats against Verlander, as you see under his numbers from last year. 5 for 40 in his career against JV. There have been a lot of walks and strikeouts in that mix. 8 walks and 11 strikeouts in his 5 for 40 of his career. Verlander in an Astros uniform in the regular season. We have not seen this since July 24th of 2020. Kind of uncharted waters right now for JV. Age 39, coming off Tommy John surgery. Of starters, Bronson Arroyo did it at age 39, but he was a little bit younger at age 37 when he got the Tommy John than Justin Verlander was. So really the only pitcher, a starter, who had Tommy John surgery at a later age was the incomparable Jamie Moyer, who became the oldest pitcher record a win at age 49 after Tommy John at age 47. So here's who Justin will face in his first start back from Tommy John surgery. We saw Ohtani strike out. Mike Trout currently with a 1-2 count. You've got Anthony Rendon, Jared Walsh, Matt Duffy, Jose Rojas. They go lefty, righty, lefty in the middle. Max Stassi, Brandon Marsh, and Tyler Wade round out Joe Maddon's lineup tonight against the future Hall of Famer. Tough take. Looked like Trout wanted to pull the trigger and didn't.
Yeah, there's been past at bats between these two where he has gotten Trout to chase that slider on the outside corner. Trout holding his ground, not chasing outside the zone.
You notice before the game, a lot of strikeouts on that slider away and the fastball up against Trout.
Yeah, the Astros organization itself loves throwing that high fastball to Mike Trout.
He swings at that high fastball and hits one high and deep to left center field, all the way back. McCormick leaps up and he makes the catch against the wall. Chas McCormick, a leaping catch. A potential home run off the bat of Mike Trout. And McCormick retires Trout for out number 2.
That baseball was up in the air a very long time, and Chas McCormick did a great job of tracking it the entire way, recognizing where that wall was and timing that leap perfectly to go up there and rob his counterpart from extra bases and a potential home run.
That ball kept carrying because initially Jordan was going after it casually like it was going to stay in the park.
Well, it looked like Jordan was going to drift under it and make the catch on the track. But you're right, ball just kept carrying. Might have a little bit to do with the guy who hit it. A little bit of force behind it.
So a loud second out, but an out nonetheless. And here's Anthony Rendon. Called strike.
Now this is 105.8 miles an hour off the bat, so plenty of thump. Flags moving just a little bit towards the outfield, but Chas did a great job of keeping a beat on it.
One bounces in there. The Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Chas has already made an excellent play in center field. We saw Jose Siri make a great catch last night in center. Jordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker are the corner outfielders. Aledmus Diaz is at third, giving Alex Bregman a night off. Jeremy Pena is the shortstop. Jose Altuve at second. Nico Goodrum makes a start at first. And as mentioned earlier, Jason Castro catching Justin Verlander for the first time ever. A couple of veterans battery mates here, but they have never hooked up before. We'll be interested to see how Dusty plays it out this year. He had Robinson Chirinos during Justin Verlander's Cy Young Award season be his catcher for every start. That was when A.J. Hinch was the manager, but JV matched up with Chirinos every game for 34 starts. Last year, Verlander didn't pitch, and the year before just the one start with Maldonado. And then back in 18, there was a rotation with Max Stassi and Martin Maldonado and Brian McCann all catching JV. So Castro getting a chance to catch Verlander tonight, trying to get through this first inning with 2 outs and nobody on it, a 2-2 count to Rendon. Doesn't get him a chase. It's 3-2. Eight-time All-Star, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Made his last regular season start of 2019 right here at Angel Stadium. Good memories here. Now back to the screen.
96, that arm's feeling good.
I like it.
Staying in these at-bats. Pulled a couple of curveballs, but nothing too crazy. I think he should be pretty comfortable with how he's looked in this first inning.
If there's a guy who's going to set a bar coming off Tommy John surgery as a power pitcher in his late 30s, JV might set that bar pretty high for future older pitchers who have Tommy John. Welcome back, Justin Verlander. 1, 2, 3 innings, striking out Ohtani and Rendon to start and end his first inning back in 624 days.
Who leads things off this inning on his second opening day roster. He opened his season up with a home run. He missed 2020. You remember most of it. He posted a good 2021. Had the 33 home runs, driving in 104. Troy Snicker, hitting coach, sees this guy, what kind of work he puts in behind the scenes. Told me in spring that obviously he's very good, but there is more in there. He thinks this guy can do more damage. He can cut down on some of the strikeouts. That's one of the focuses this year. Walk more, have a little bit more discipline. We have not seen Yordan Alvarez have his best season yet. Can you believe that, guys?
I kind of can, to be honest with you. You know, that rookie year, he exploded on the scene, hitting bombs all over the place. Last year, coming back from the double knee surgery, getting his legs back under him. But he's 100% healthy right now, getting a chance to play a little bit in the outfield. And we're seeing him move better, but we're also seeing him get on his legs a little bit better.
Saw some of the metrics there as he grounds one to the right side of the infield. Matt Duffy, the second baseman, stays in the middle of the infield in the shift, and that is Tyler Wade, the shortstop, who moves around and makes the play on Yordan Alvarez for out number 1. Yordan has been hitting the ball hard the first 2 games of the season. That was one of the weaker ground balls off his bat this year. He had 7 at bats this season, and 6 of them had hit the ball over 100 miles an hour. Here's Ledmus Diaz. Diaz had a chance to play first base last night in case he missed it. Yuli Gurriel leaving the team to be with his wife for the birth of their child, and Ledmus Diaz, Yuli's been on the paternity list, getting a chance to play first last night, and tonight he's over at third base as he pops one up. Anthony Rendon makes the play, and there's 2 away. So early on, the return of both Verlander and Syndergaard. They have retired all 8 batters they have faced. Noah Syndergaard, guy from Texas, Mansfield, Texas, outside of Dallas, was a first-round pick in 2010. Here's Kyle Tucker. See 2 home runs in the series. They both came last night, and they both came from the 7th inning on. A 7th inning 3-run home run to right and a solo shot in the 9th. It was the first time in Tucker's career that he had a 2 home run game. This ball into center field. May have broken his bat, and it flares in for a base hit. Oh, Kyle Tucker on the first pitch with a single to center.
Kyle needs about 15 more of those in the month of April to make up for last April. Little broken bat, drop shot, getting aggressive on the fastball early, 96 up and in, but still strong enough to fight it out to center field. And Kyle Tucker last season was a high barrel percentage and a high exit velocity type guy that had nothing to show for it early in the season. But there, don't need the exit velocity and don't need the barrel.
Yeah, based on what he did from May on, if he can get off to a decent start this year,
scary.
It could be a little scary. Here's Jeremy Pena. In the midst of that big offensive output last night, Jeremy Pena had himself quite a night. Picked up his first major league hit in his first at bat of the evening, a single to left field. 7th inning, had a home run and a double in the same inning.
Here it is, Jeremy Pena, little backup slider hanging out over the plate. Probably looked like it was sitting on a tee, but he showed some of that power that he has, going over the 390 mark, much to the delight of his family. Pretty good timing in the whole situation, to be honest, other than not having us on it.
There goes Tucker, swing and a miss. The throw by Stassi will not be in time. Kyle Tucker, the head first slide, had 14 stolen bases last year, and he picks up his first in 2022.
Astros are kind of carrying that spring training philosophy of running into the regular season here early. Tucker, I believe, had 14 bags last year. He's off to the races this year with that one.
He's always been a high percentage stolen base guy. Rarely gets caught stealing. Picks his spots, but you may see Tucker, especially in this kind of situation where there's 2 outs, try and get himself into scoring position with a stolen base when he can. Counts 1-1 on Jeremy Pena. Pena taps a foul on the slider. It's 1-2. Noah Syndergaard made his big league debut back in 2015 at the age of 22. Finished 4th in that first year, Rookie of the Year balloting with the Mets. 31 starts in 16, injured in 17, and then 25 more starts in 18 and 32 in 2019. Coming into spring training of 2020, something didn't feel right. Syndergaard would end up having Tommy John surgery as he wanted this call on the outside edge. Would have Tommy John surgery at the end of spring training and only make a couple of 1-inning starts last year in return. In his final 2 starts with the Mets. Now Thor in the American League for the first time, facing the Houston Astros in his very first American League start. He has faced the Astros at least twice in spring training contests every year from 17 through 2020. Never faced the Astros in a regular season game. Only 5 teams now he has not faced. One of them being the Mets, of course, and the other four AL West teams. 3-2 the count now to Pena. Good take there on a slider away or curveball.
Yeah, doing a good job to fight to this 3-2 count. Is Noah Syndergaard going to challenge him with the fastball?
Jason Castro is on deck if Jeremy Pena is able to reach. Upstairs, ball 4. Nice job by Pena, being patient and drawing a walk. So the Astros now with runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Jason Castro will get his first at bat of 2022.
He got to call his first walk of his career.
There you go.
Small wins.
Not quite the same as the first hit and home run, but we'll take what we can get. You already have a nickname for the home run? We'll wait for it.
Yeah, there's a little bit going on. Everybody wants to claim they know best, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, we got time. He's going to do it. He's going to do a play.
He's going to have another run at some point in this road trip, maybe in the series. Castro taking a down and away fastball for a strike. Last year we saw Jason Castro catch Jake Odorizzi a bunch, but Dusty chose to mix it up this time around, going with Maldonado last night with Odorizzi on the mound, and tonight Castro catching Verlander.
Talked about that changeup to left-handed hitters from Noah Syndergaard. He's not afraid to throw that thing. Fourth one he's thrown in this game. Good fade on that one. See him turn that pitch over and really watch it dive to that outside corner away from Jason's swing.
Nice pick by Max Stassi on a pitch in the dirt. Syndergaard signing a one-year deal coming off Tommy John surgery. $21 million deal. Verlander's deal a little bit richer, $25 million, with a player option for next season if he gets to 130 innings for the same amount. Astros making Syndergaard work a little bit here after he got two quick outs in the inning. A single by Kyle Tucker, a stolen base, and then a walk.
Let's see if he plays a little game of high-low. A couple of changeups down, and that fastball up at 96. With a 1-2 count, he could either go back up top with the fastball and see if he can't beat Jason with it, get him to chase maybe a little bit higher up out of the zone, or he can go to that changeup, change the eye level and the velocity down and away.
Out in front, a little ground ball on the right side. Jared Walsh picks it up and gets to the bag ahead of Castro for the final out of the inning. A hit, a walk, two men left on base, still scoreless.
Dugout report presented by Jack in the Box. Justin Verlander getting back to work here. You heard TK mention that family was here. Mom, dad, his brother Ben Verlander here. Mom and dad flying in for this start. It's a big day for, of course, JV to return, but also for his family, who is really tense. They are actually really nervous. I found that out by chatting with Ben earlier, who's in the media now, has a podcast. It was really fun to chat up about what's been going on with Verlander the last couple of years. These guys have seen what's behind the scenes and know how much work he's put into it. This is a big day, guys.
Jared Walsh greets Verlander with a solo home run here to lead off the bottom half of the second inning. Walsh, who hit 29 home runs last year, hits one against Verlander on the first pitch of the second inning.
Yeah, there's plenty of pop in that bat from Jared Walsh. And he's a guy that likes to get it ready early, and he ambushed that fastball from Justin. Came in at 93 miles an hour, left at a 106.6.
Walsh puts the Angels on the board with a solo home run, and Verlander will now face Matt Duffy. Duffy, good career numbers against JV, 4 for 8. One, two, three, first inning for Verlander, striking out Shohei Ohtani and Anthony Rendon. Which misses away, 1-1. Reason that Justin Verlander is starting game 3 of the regular season and not his 13th opening day on Thursday, as he was basically not trying to rush things coming off Tommy John surgery. Had he stayed from his first spring training start on schedule every 5 days, he would have lined up for that start Thursday, but he felt he needed a little more time. Didn't feel like it was worth rushing just to get to opening day for a start. So here he is starting on a Saturday against the Angels. We'll see him again in Seattle later on this road trip. Tonight is start number 455 in Justin Verlander's career. And for a guy who has been very rarely on the injured list throughout his career, the longest time in between starts. 20 months and 16 days since his last regular season start. Duffy tries to hold up on a 2-2 pitch and does. His first base umpire Ryan Wills is 3-2. Verlander, a free agent in the offseason, put together a little showcase outing for a lot of major league teams. There were a few that were interested, but none more so than his former and current team, the Houston Astros, as he was a free agent briefly and re-signed with the Astros. Tommy John surgery September 30th of 2020. Ground ball to short. Pena with the play. Throws to Nico Goodrum. Playing first base tonight for out number 1 here in the second inning.
Yeah, it's been a storied career for Justin Verlander. Those 455 starts that TK was talking about. 3,015 strikeouts now. A couple of Cy Youngs, an MVP award, 8-time All-Star, and that World Series trophy under his belt. The Hall of Fame career continues to build for Justin Verlander.
Yeah, not usually do you get a chance to talk about as Jose Rojas digs in. Hits the ball hard, and Goodrum spears it right down the line. Nico Goodrum, who hasn't played a whole lot of first base throughout his career, getting the start tonight. 17 starts for Goodrum back at 19, but he gets the start tonight and makes that play.
That's a poorly located line drive off the bat of Rojas. Good snag by Nico Goodrum.
Generally a guy who's middle of the diamond, maybe a third baseman, but getting that big glove on today at the first base position. Here's Max Stassi.
See, the Angels are aggressive early in the count against Justin Verlander. Really hunting that fastball.
Stassi, who has caught Verlander 9 times in his career, has faced him as a hitter 3 times. He's 0 for, actually he's 0 for 3 this year, facing him as a hitter this year for the first time. Stassi caught Verlander part of that 2018 season. There's a strike to Max. 1-2. You caught up with Max before the game?
Yeah, he's a good dude. He came over and said hello. I was talking to ex-teammate Phil Nevin at the time, and he came over, gave me the old bro hug, and we caught up on things. Very happy to be here in Anaheim, and very grateful for the contract that they did give him to stay here for a couple more years and be their catcher. So good for Max for finding a home here.
$17.5 million 3-year extension. Probably had a great move.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. You know JV's back when he does a little hop off the mound thinking he got the final strike of the inning.
Yep.
You thought he may have gotten that call from Jansen Piscotty that was just outside on the 1-2 pitch. Now he hops off the mound with a strikeout. Verlander ends the first 2 innings with a strikeout, but the inning was led off with a solo home run. Angels lead on the Jared Walsh home run. It's 1-0.
Come out to Minute Maid Park tomorrow. This is tomorrow, everyone, for autograph sessions, photo booths, and more. Fans can take BP in the batting cages and warm up in the Astros bullpen. Stay afterwards for the watch party and cheer on the Astros as they take on the Angels in Anaheim. Claim your FanFest voucher today at astros.com/fanfest. that's going to be a blast. And they waited till we left town to do it. I like going to Fan Fest.
How about it? We're missing Fan Fest.
I know. I'm so bummed.
But I could tell it's early season, Julia, because she was in the middle of the copy. Instead of saying this Sunday, she caught herself and said, that's tomorrow. Normally, she has no idea what day of the week it is.
Yeah, normally every day is Tuesday.
So good catch on that. It's early. We all know what day it is.
Yep.
Ask her around June, and she might not be quite as sure.
Yeah, it can be completely different.
June? Next week. I'm into this road trip.
Yeah, Fan Fest, Plummer, without us, but there will be plenty of other things to do. Lots of activities going on tomorrow. And you can have a little watch party and check out Jose Suarez and Jose Urquidy tomorrow to wrap up the series.
I was going to say, they're doing the best they can to accommodate after the lockout and the situation that they're dealing with and that abbreviated start to the season, especially now that the Astros are on the road for 9 games in 11 days. Try and make the best of it. But, yeah, why not sit in the ballpark, hang out with us for another ball game? It'd be a good time.
How about Chas McCormick? Duffy trying to rob him, and Chas goes in head first, lands hard. And he's checking on the landing gear as he hit hard there, but he's in there with an infield hit.
I hope he's all right, because that left shoulder can take a beating when you're diving and reaching for that bag, because he went through the bag. Normally in a normal situation on any other bag, you're sliding to the bag. Here he's sliding through the bag as he's tried to extend for this hit, kind of landed on the bag.
Not good. You never want to really dive in the first.
And you've got to remember, too, this is without any kind of protection. Normally guys will have the sliding gloves on, but he went down firm.
He might be a little knocked the wind out of you too.
No doubt.
He landed hard. Let's just hope that's the case.
Yeah, he more bounced than slid.
He definitely bounced.
Young man's going to be all right. He's young, tough.
For those at home, though, it's probably better to run through the bag.
Yeah, well, did you see Omar get in his ear? He leaned over to him and he goes, maybe don't do that again.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see how that left hand sticks and bounces off that bag. Yeah, I'm with you, TK. I think it might be the wind being knocked out of him, just a jarring effect of going into the bag as hard as he did. But yeah, kids, run through the bag.
At first base, you're allowed to.
It's tough, though, when you smell that hit.
The other bags, you can stay on the bag, but yeah, might as well run through the bag that you're allowed to run through. Here's the ball inside to Jose Altuve. Altuve flied out to right his first time up. That infield hit by Chas McCormick, his 3rd hit of the young season. He's now 3 for 6. Altuve 1 for 10 on there. Excuse me, 1 for 9 on the season. His 1 hit, though, a home run to left last night. Got the Astros offense going. There's a pummeled the Angels for 13 runs last night. Counts 1-1 on Altuve. Altuve hitting a first inning home run against Reed Detmers, clearing the 390 sign in left center. Syndergaard has been right around 94, 95 with a fastball tonight. Good pitch there as he pulls the string on Altuve to even the count of 2 apiece.
Yeah, we're finding out that Noah Syndergaard is not afraid to throw that changeup right on right.
Ground ball slowly hit towards short. Tyler Wade to second for 1. Duffy's return throw, and they turn 2 on Jose Altuve. So the leadoff infield hit by McCormick wiped out. Bases are cleared for Michael Brantley. Mentioned Syndergaard grew up a Texan. He went to Legacy High School in Mansfield, Texas, outside of Dallas. He was a big soccer player initially, and then his mom talked him into playing baseball, and the rest is kind of history. His Brantley grounds one to the right side. Tyler Wade in the shift makes the play on Brantley, and that will do it. A leadoff single. But Syndergaard faces the minimum in the third.
The pinned tweet, what's your favorite Justin Verlander game as an Astro? So it's at the 2017 ALCS Game 2 where he struck out 13 in CG 2017 ALCS Game 6. 7 scoreless, or the no-hitter he threw against Toronto September of 2019. You vote. We'll let you know what the results are a little bit later. TK.
Like Brandon Marsh's walk-up music, Julia?
I can feel it in my soul. My chair vibrates.
Club Angel. Julia's spot down here near the dugout is right near one of the big speakers at Angel Stadium. Fastball slider mostly for Justin Verlander tonight. He has mixed in of his first 32 pitches, just one curveball. The last full season in 2019, he threw that four-seamer 49.9% of the time. That was the fewest percentages of fastballs he's ever thrown in his career. He had the slider at 28.7, the highest of his career, and he had the curveball at 17.3%, which was the highest since his MVP season and Cy Young season of 2011. But he said you have to try and get swings and misses now, and that's not always possible when you're throwing a high percentage of fastballs. So he mixed in more wrinkles in 2019 and led him to a career high 300 strikeouts, with that 300th coming in his 12th and final strikeout in a game here in Anaheim in late September of that year.
That slider curveball combo proved to be pretty filthy.
A little frustrated with himself here as he misses up on the slider. And he's 3-1 on Brandon Marsh. Marsh 1 for 6 in the young season. A Jared Walsh solo home run has the Angels in front in this game. Another case, Blummer, in a hitter's count that Verlander beats Brandon Marsh this time on a 3-1 fastball.
I'll tell you what, TK, you talked about the percentage of fastballs going down because the secondary pitchers were so electric for Justin Verlander, but at the same time, he is one of the few pitchers in this league who gets behind in hitters' counts and still is able to go out and attack with that fastball and get swings and misses. It's pretty impressive, but I like the fact that, you talked about him being frustrated earlier in that bat missing with the pitch, but then he comes back 3-1, just a little more angst behind that pitch and able to locate inside on that inside corner, with that fearlessness is what's impressive, because there's a lot of pitchers around the league who would like the idea of coming in, but they're afraid in a 3-1 count of having it leak back over the plate.
Fastball rides in, and Brandon Marsh has drawn a leadoff walk. First walk of the night allowed by Verlander. He has struck out 3 in the first 2 innings. I'll bring up the shortstop, Tyler Wade.
There could be some action right here with Wade at the plate, number 9 hitter, and you've got Brandon Marsh at first base, who runs pretty good. Heavy strike thrower in Justin Verlander, too.
Runner on the go. Here's the throw by Castro on the money. Jason Castro guns down Brandon Marsh. Marsh caught only 1 time last year in his rookie season in 7 attempts. And Justin Verlander gave a nice little fist pump back to his catcher after that throw.
That was beautiful. And there it was early. They tried the old hit and run. Marsh has good speed, but I'll tell you what, the way that Castro jumped out from behind home plate on that curveball was pretty impressive. It came up firing, picking up Justin Verlander and erasing that walk.
Marsh went into that bag pretty hard. CJV's reaction to that caught stealing. So nice job by Castro gunning down Marsh for the first out. And an 0-1 count, bounce right back to the pitcher. Verlander will lob it to Nico Goodrum. That's out number 2.
Sets up nicely. That's exactly where you want to face Shohei Ohtani with nobody on.
We mentioned that Thor, Noah Syndergaard, normally in the 97-ish, 98 range, and tonight he's more 94, 95. Justin Verlander in his last full season averaged 94.6 on the fastball. And first time through the lineup, coming off Tommy John surgery, he's averaging 95.
Right on the nose, 95 miles an hour. That's a good sign.
And this is a Justin Verlander who's maybe not feeling his personal best coming into tonight. He's had a little bit sluggish this week, hasn't felt great. Still worked out with the team here on the off day on Wednesday when the entire team worked out and got ready for his start Saturday, feeling less than his best, but so far he's gone through the lineup once, allowing 1 hit and 1 walk.
Wow, it's a great pitch. Fooled everybody. Take a look at our Discover matchup. Justin Verlander against Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, David Fletcher, and Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki on the bench with some of the best numbers. He has struck out Mike Trout 11 times. He's gotten Shohei Ohtani 7 times. The ever pesky David Fletcher actually has him in the book, but 5 for 20. Doing a good job against these guys. You love that you're holding a guy like Mike Trout to a .275 slugging percentage. They've matched up 41 times.
And with Fletcher and Suzuki not starting tonight, best numbers belong to Ohtani or Matt Duffy, who's now 4 for 9 against them. Verlander ahead 1-2. He has ended the first 2 innings with a strikeout.
Should have been ahead 0-2. Couldn't believe that second pitch wasn't called for a strike.
And that was well above the bottom of the zone. Called third strike. Ohtani goes down looking. Verlander has struck out Shohei twice, and he has 4 punch outs on the night.
He's done a good job over his career. We showed you the matchups, and when he does go out and get Shohei Ohtani, it's usually that slider on the inside corner or the heat, but this time it was a slider.
Syndergaard ready to go, as he was 1 minute before the scheduled first pitch tonight. He is getting out to the mound in a hurry and taking his minimum allotted time, getting ready for each inning as Nico Goodrum will lead off. Goodrum bounced back to the pitcher his first time up. Astros do not have much going tonight against Syndergaard. A couple of singles, a walk. They put the ball in play so far for the first 11 batters, although Goodrum is down to the count here 0-2. Chase that pitch in the dirt on the breaking ball. It's 1-2. Syndergaard, 38 pitches in, has thrown 27 strikes. Has walked 1 ahead of Nico Goodrum here, and he fouls 1 away.
How about some StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, and we're going to show you last night's 14 hits. 6 home runs in there. You can see him going into launch mode. A lot of those early against Reed Detmers to the pull side out there to left field. Left center field is where Jeremy Pena got his, but the Astros went to work and really kind of setting the Angels and maybe the league on notice that this offense can be for real again. It's amazing the consistency they're able to go, and then you insert that young man in replacement of Carlos Correa, and last night looked spectacular. First career hit, first career home run, 3-hit night.
Look out, up and in with 95. Now, after getting ahead of Goodrum 0-2, it's 3-2. Now, last night was everybody in the lineup contributing, especially in that 8-run 7th inning where the Astros had 8 runs on 8 hits. Sent 12 men to the plate. Goodrum chops one just foul. Syndergaard, a guy who with the Mets had in his career averaged 9.7 strikeouts per 9. Started his career averaging 10, 10.7, and 10.1. And tonight he has not struck out anybody with one out here in the fourth. Goodrum makes it close as Duffy kind of double clutch there, but records the out for out number 1. Here's the big man, Yordan Alvarez, who grounded out his first time up. Yordan, in all 4 at-bats last night, hit the ball over 100 miles an hour. And he only went 1 for 4. Alvarez last year finished 8th in average exit velocity. But when you look at some of these raw numbers, the raw value plus, the contact plus, the ball in play plus, all well above league average. He's a guy, even though Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge are the exit velocity monsters, he could challenge those guys this year for the highest average exit velocity. And his eye is very underrated. He's a really disciplined hitter.
Yeah, I'll give him, some leash to, kind of hang out there on with that discipline at the plate, just because the threat of him doing damage on some swings, that's part of the discipline right there, is maybe going a little bit too much into attack mode, trying to go get that changeup. But at the same time, that ball in play plus number you saw at the bottom takes into account what situations he's in when he does do some of his damage. Just for instance, if he hits a 2-strike home run, it's going to carry a little more weight than a 3-1 home run, which kind of shows you some of the value of Yordan Alvarez, and it's a lot of fun. That's why that ball in play, or BIP plus, is at 193. That has escalated.
On the ground again into the shift. Tyler Wade is there, and he'll make the play for out number 2. Now a word from Fubo TV.
Watch AT&T Sportsnet with Fubo TV. Try free.
So Syndergaard gets Alvarez on a 3-2 fastball to ground out on the right side. And here's Aledmys Diaz.
It was awkward because he got out in front of it and rolled over almost.
Foul at the plate. Diaz part of the act last night, 2 for 4 with a home run. Aledmys hitting a solo home run in the 4th inning. Aledmys chopped that ball off his front leg and shaking it off a little bit. Astros play tonight and then again tomorrow afternoon, wrapping up this 4-game set with the Los Angeles Angels. Then an off day on Monday before they take on the Diamondbacks Tuesday and Wednesday. Diamondbacks at home currently. They're taking on the San Diego Padres. In the first inning of their game tonight, Ketel Marte actually had a base hit against Joe Musgrove.
That's huge.
Normally that wouldn't be a big story.
Unless you've been paying attention and realized the 2 previous games, there were no hit through 6, I think, in both games.
They did not have a hit against either starter the first 2 games.
Oh, man.
Yu Darvish, 6 no-hit innings in game 1. And the Diamondbacks came back to win that game. 2-1 the count to Aledmys Diaz.
And yesterday was the anniversary, I believe, of Joe Musgrove's no-hitter in Texas.
Is that right?
The first one in San Diego Padres organization history.
And then Sean Manaea made his first start as a Padre last night and went 7 no-hit innings.
He was trying to match Joe from the year before.
And then he got lifted. But tonight the Diamondbacks did get a hit against a Padre starter for the first time in game 3 of the season.
The place must have erupted.
And they scored a run. But after all that, they're 1-1 going into tonight. On National Beer Day, Seth Beer walked off with the game winner.
How lucky is that? That's so good.
So good. So well scripted. Near the bottom of the zone, Syndergaard wanted his first strikeout in an Angels uniform. Doesn't get the call from Jansen Visconti, and the count goes full. Astros 2 hits, Angels 1 hit. The Angels 1 hit, a Jared Walsh home run. There's his first strikeout in an Angels uniform as he gets Aledmys Diaz chasing the slider. 1-2-3 inning for Syndergaard. We are through 3.5. It is 1-0 Angels.
Experience today. Purchase a ticket to Astros opening day on April 18th for a chance to win great prizes, including autographed baseballs, custom jerseys, and unique experiences. Visit astros.com/levelup to learn more.
Justin Verlander, second time through the lineup, has struck out Shohei Ohtani twice tonight, including the final out of the third inning. He'll now face Mike Trout to lead off the fourth. And ground ball towards Altuve in the hole. Tough play. Altuve, a strong throw. Well done by Jose Altuve. Not easy to get Mike Trout on that ground ball.
Yeah, Altuve gets kind of pulled out of position on some of those shifts. He has to use that arm, but he did a very good job. And what you notice is he really just had that right foot planted as he made the backhand play, so he made the exchange a little bit quicker. But that was an absolutely pure one-hopper right into the chest of Nico Goodrum. Made it easy on Nico to go get that ball and make sure they got Mike Trout. Good play.
Here is Houston's own Anthony Rendon. Of course, Rice University star and his high school career at George Bush before moving on to Lamar. Has not had a lot of time as an active player since moving from the Nationals to the Angels. 110 games the last 2 years, and last year just 58 games. Missed 104 contests with a variety of injuries. 3 different times on the IL, a groin injury, a hamstring injury, and a right hip injury that ended his season. As Verlander misses away, it's 1-1. Trout now with that ground out 5 for 42 in his career against a future Hall of Famer, Justin Verlander. A couple of future Hall of Famers in that conversation.
Pretty large responsibility for Anthony Rendon in this lineup, protecting Mike Trout. So once you get past Anthony Rendon, I know that Jared Walsh hit a home run his last at bat. You go Ohtani, Trout, Rendon, all MVP go-getters. After those 3 guys, you've got some lineups that you're part of the lineup that you can pitch around. It'll be interesting to see if Anthony Rendon will get some pitches to hit.
Verlander's fallen behind him here 3-1. We'll see how Justin attacks him here. He struck out Rendon his first time up. Does not get that call at the bottom of the zone. Here's a second walk allowed by JB. 1 out base runner for the Angels. Get out of play is driven by Toyota. Good to have Justin Verlander back and active. It's been a while. We mentioned July 24th of 2020, and who will ever forget the incredible run of 2019 when Verlander was the ALCS MVP in 17, and then in 19 celebrated with the World Series title. 3,000 strikeouts and 300 strikeouts coming here at Angel Stadium, and that 3rd career no-hitter, one of 6 pitchers ever in the history of the game with 3 or more no-hitters. One more and he will join the illustrious duo of Sandy Koufax and the Express Nolan Ryan.
That is some elite company.
Keep in mind, the Express had a couple of no-hitters once he got to this age, where JB is now age 39, just turned 39 at the end of February. Walsh fouls off that fastball. It's 1-1. Verlander has looked impressive. He's allowed just the 1 hit. 4 strikeouts through 3. Pitching in a stadium where, coming into tonight, he had never lost in an Astros uniform. 6-0 and 6 starts here. Trailing tonight 1-0. Walsh way out in front of that curveball. He fouls it towards the Astros dugout. It's 1-2. Verlander and Thor, Noah Syndergaard dueling tonight. Both guys returning from Tommy John surgery. Both guys had, like everybody else in baseball, a condensed spring training. So probably not going to extend too far tonight, like we might see in their second or third regular season starts. Got him. Jared Walsh strikes out on a slider. That is strikeout number 5 for Verlander, and 2 away in the inning.
That's pretty nasty. It's that back foot slider you've heard so much about in baseball, but a good job of attacking that inside corner. And again, that ball comes out of the hand looking like the fastball from Justin and really pulls down on that to create that heavy spin to get under the swing of Jared Walsh. That was a great pitch.
If for whatever reason you decided not to watch any baseball from the end of July 2020 until tonight, you wouldn't have known Justin Verlander has had Tommy John surgery. He has picked up right where he left off. That was a nasty slider.
It was pretty impressive. No, the ability to work yourself back into shape and then trust your body to go out there and do what he's doing right now is incredible.
Up the middle, it's going to find its way into center field. Matt Duffy now 5 for 10 in his career against Verlander with a 2-out single here. So just the second hit of the night for the Angels, and Verlander worked with a little bit of traffic here, 2 on with 2 outs, and will face Jose Rojas, who lined out his first time up.
Rojas was aggressive on a fastball. First pitch, turned on it, hit right to Nico Goodrum. See if Verlander makes the adjustment here early in the count, because he is feeling that curveball and that slider.
There you go, Blummer, good call. Starts him off with that breaking ball, a little bit low. Rojas line out, one of 3 batted balls tonight against Verlander, 100 miles an hour or better. A home run by Walsh and a fly ball by Trout to the wall, the other 2. Chops in a curveball there. It's 1-1.
I like it. Maybe threw that first one a little bit too hard, but he came back with it. Rojas in his mind was probably trying to sit on something firm. Verlander, the veteran, making the adjustment, breaking that curveball off to get back in the count, even it up 1-1.
Little foul at the plate. It's 1-2.
3 straight curveballs. You really slowed him down, trying to slow those eyes in, those hands down. Now he's got options. He's got that turbo slider down and in that we saw him get Jared Walsh with. He's also got the elevated heat in the mid-90s. He could also flip that slow breaking ball in the outside corner and see if he can get Rojas to either chase it or roll it over.
Hit on the screen above the Astros dugout.
That is the only place Rojas could hit that pitch. If he tries to keep that fair, he gets destroyed and his bat's in pieces. The only way he could get the barrel of that is to hit it where he did, pull it. But then That's part of the idea, too. You throw that pitch down and in, you all of a sudden you sped everything up on Josh Rojas. It kind of opens up that outside corner a little bit, too.
Swing and a miss, got him with the high heat. Justin Verlander has ended every inning with a strikeout. He's got 6 in the game.
He can do it on his own, but he also likes it when he gets help from his friends. There's a great play to the backhand side for Jose Altuve to keep this game 1-0.
Tucker, who already has a knock today and a stolen base, but I want you to check out the number, the weighted runs created plus in his last 110. 172, that's the best in the league. You see the 27 home runs, 80 RBI, had a couple of those last night. Off to a great start here in 2022, and that was one of his goals coming into the season. You see the numbers there. If you go back, it was May 8th when he started putting up those numbers, meaning April was a little bit tough as far as the stats go, and he looked back on that with me and said that, you know, he felt like he was hitting the ball really hard, and the numbers backed that up. He was falling into some bad luck at times, but he said, what I'm pretty proud of is that I was able to figure some things out, didn't ride the highs too high, didn't ride the lows too low, and that's what separates the greats from just the average players, being able to just kind of ride through it and figure it out and continue to adjust, and don't let it get to you. Tucker's done a really good job of maturing since making his debut a few years ago, TK.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun to watch the combination of Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez continue to get better. You tend to forget how young they are, and they are 2 of the premier left-hand hitters in the game right now and are still improving.
Still learning the game, still adjusting to what pitchers are trying to do to them. But what Julie was talking about, the mentality that he had last year really impressed me, because you can be a young hitter who expects big things out of yourself, and you can say, I'm barreling everything and I'm not getting a hit. I need to change my swing. I need to change my approach. But he didn't even flinch. He just went out there and said, I'm going to continue to hit the ball hard. I'm going to find the open spaces. And he ended up going on a tear.
This ball into the ship, but Tyler Wade is there, goes down to a knee to make sure he corrals that ground ball, and Tucker's retired for out number 1. So the shortstop in the second base side of the ship makes the play. Joe Madden was saying before the game they like their shortstops to range over to that other side. Fletcher's done it a lot as a second baseman. He's normally their shortstop. It's not an easy throw to get used to, having to throw from that shallow right field area. Here's Jeremy Pena.
I think a lot of managers do it too because of the arm strength. Playing that shallow right field, it's a little bit longer throw, so put the guy out there with a better arm.
He walked his first time up, and he chops this one towards Wade, who's back to his normal shortstop spot. And there's 2 quick outs for Syndergaard here in the 5th.
Stay connected with the Astros all season long by following AT&T Sportsnet on social media. Get game highlights, player interviews, and special giveaways by finding us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All things Astros all season long at AT&T Sportsnet.
Syndergaard just 61 pitches in, 4 2/3 in the book so far as he faces Jason Castro, who grounded out to first his first time up. Castro 66 games for the Astros last year, making his first start of 2022. 34-year-old. Takes one inside. In fact, is so far in it catches him. Jason Castro hit by a pitch. Castro will head down to first base with 2 outs.
A little fastball running inside. Just seemed to chase Jason as he tried to pull that left hand elbow in.
So he's a 2-out base runner for Chas McCormick. McCormick reached on an infield single his first time up. Astros have 2 hits against Thor. Single by Kyle Tucker in the second, and that infield hit by McCormick. This one in tight. And it's 1-0. You would think that Syndergaard's under about the same restriction as Shohei Ohtani in the opener, somewhere around 80-ish pitches tonight. So where he is right now, it would appear he would get another inning after this one, but see if the Astros can rally here with 2 outs. There's a strike called, 1-1. Chaz with that base hit, now 3 for 6 on the season. Chaz played the opener. Jose Siri played last night, had a brilliant game. Siri made an incredible catch in the outfield. He scored on a ground ball from third when he was looked back to the bag. And he also had 2 hits. Stole a base as well. Chaz had a couple of doubles in the opener. This one towards short. Tyler Wade's going to make all the plays in this inning. And that'll do it for the Astros in the 5th. We are halfway home. Both pitchers coming off Tommy John looking good. It's 1-0 Angels.
Our pitcher is driven by 4. Justin Verlander in 2017 picked up at that waiver trade deadline. And the reason for it? He is excellent in September, and he is phenomenal in the postseason. He went out there and won that 2017 ALCS MVP, racking up 21 strikeouts in 16 innings, just absolutely obliterating the New York Yankee lineup, and they had to show it, didn't they? That is icing on the cake with that swing right there from Todd Frazier. Real compliment to what Justin Verlander went out there and did.
Stassi swings to the first pitch, sends one deep to left center field. One hop against the wall. Alvarez will play it off the wall, and Max Stassi leads off the 5th inning with a double. Jared Walsh hit the first pitch of the 2nd inning for a home run, and now Stassi on the first pitch of the 5th inning with a leadoff double.
On the first pitch fastball up above the zone and almost off the outside corner. Stassi really had to reach out there and go get that. Still able to get the barrel on it and shoot it off the left center field wall.
Now the number 8 hitter Brandon Marsh, who walked his first time up. Verlander sitting at 62 pitches as he makes his 2nd pitch here in the 5th inning. Down and in for a ball. Marsh walked his first time up, and Jason Castro threw him out trying to steal a base. Angels now with 3 hits, Astros with 2. The Astros behind Framber Valdez defeated the Angels 3-1 last night. Offensive barrage from the Astros. 12-2 at one point and won that game 13-6. There's a breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. Trying to keep Max Stassi at 2nd base. Marsh will try and hit a ground ball to the right side or pull something to the right side to try and advance the leadoff runner. 2-1. Falling behind 3-1. Last couple of fastballs around 94 miles an hour. This is the inning or the time of the game, and he approaches 70 pitches. If you're not feeling your best, you wonder how that stamina factor is going to be for Justin Verlander the rest of this game as he delivers upstairs for ball 4. Leadoff double followed by a walk. He's walked Marsh both times tonight. And the Angels have 1st and 2nd with nobody out.
Yeah, there was anybody other than Justin Verlander on the mound who would see the location on those pitches that were missing out of the zone, you'd say, well, there is maybe a little bit of fatigue. Sometimes when that arm gets tired, you start to lead a little bit more with the elbow and you start to miss up in the zone. But I say with Justin Verlander out there, there's a better chance that he's going to make that adjustment quicker. And obviously has the stuff to get out of certain jams when there are traffic.
Down to bunt. Aledmus Diaz will glove it, makes the play to first. So the sacrifice by Wade successful, putting runners on second and third in scoring position with one out.
Pretty easy call right there with runners at first and second, nobody out. And Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout lingering in the on-deck circle and in the hole. Oh, it's bunted pretty hard.
Once Diaz vacated third, nobody covering the bag there.
There's always the option, too, to pick it up and try and fire to second base. But I think the runner, Brandon Marsh, may have turned the idea towards first just because of the speed.
Big spot here in a 1-0 game. Second and third. Shohei against Verlander.
If you're going to beat the Angels, you're going to have to suppress their firepower, and those three guys are it. Holding them to one hit each.
Got a piece, 1-1. The 2011 MVP Justin Verlander against the 2021 MVP Shohei Ohtani. Second and third, one out in the fifth. Tried to get him to chase the breaking ball, but he lays off. It's 2-1.
Good job by veteran catcher Jason Castro to knock that ball down, keep it in front. Allow Verlander the opportunity to try and break some of the nastier pitches off to get the swing and miss, knowing your catcher will block it for you.
It goes with Verlander approaching 75 pitches, making a call down to the bullpen. Try to hold up.
Man, he's not getting the bottom part of the zone, is he? That was a curveball earlier. That slider right there, that would have been a nice call to have. Castro gave Jansen Visconti a pretty good look at it.
Now 3-1. Mike Trout on deck with one out. '96.
Reaching back and getting a little bit. And again, that's that 3-1 count. You know, that's just a little bit of old school coming right after you mentality from Justin Verlander.
These are the moments that drive JB. Never been away from the game longer than this stint after Tommy John surgery, in a big spot here facing Ohtani. Third strike, got him on the inside corner at 96. Ohtani bailed out, and he is called out. Third time Verlander has struck out the reigning MVP.
Pitch in the zone, called the ball earlier in this at bat. JV comes back at 96 on the inside corner, and again, the ability to get in there with velocity is what ties up the hitter, even in a 3-2 count. If you're not looking in there and you're not ready for the velocity, you see a big hitter like that take that pitch, but gets the benefit of the call.
He didn't like the strikeout in the third inning. He didn't like the strikeout there, but both times they are very close pitches to take with 2 strikes.
Yeah, too close to take, especially with 2 runners on in a 1-run game. You'd like to see your big-time hitters go out there and maybe take a pass at it and try and turn the game around, or at least fight that pitch off and try and extend the at-bat so you get a better pitch to hit.
So now Verlander has to get Mike Trout. Runners on second and third with 2 away. You could see Jansen Visconti, the home plate umpire, in that replay of the called third strike, lined up exactly with the outside edge of the plate. So he had a brilliant view of that pitch that just got a sliver of the plate. High leverage inning. Verlander trying to get Ohtani and Mike Trout here with runners on second and third. Imagine Verlander is nearing the end of his night as he approaches 80 pitches. Threw 77 in his last spring training start. He has had to work hard here with some traffic the last couple of innings. MVPs. We mentioned 11 versus 21 last time, and now it's 11 versus the 14, 16, and 19 MVP. Fly out to center. The McCormick made a catch against the wall. Trout also grounded out his last time.
Good pitch. Pitch down and away, trying to stick that corner. He's done a good job in his career staying away from that ball just dying. Good matchup. Getting to that 3-2 count, 2 strikes. You can see the career strikeouts for Justin Verlander versus Mike Trout. We know that elevated fastball region is really a place where they go out there and attack him as an organization, but JV's got a little bit extra with the curve on the slider. Most notably, those sliders down and away and a little bit off the plate to get that chase. Comes out of the hand looking like a fastball, and you can also paint that outside corner, but you can see really staying away on that outer third.
Trout's had some good passes at some fastballs in this at bat. See if he tries to get him with the slider to finish this one. Drills this one to center field. McCormick back, and Verlander gets out of a jam. Second and third, and 1 out. He gets Ohtani and Trout to end the inning. We are through 5. JV and the Astros trailing 1-0. Presented by FTX, the official crypto exchange of Major League Baseball. Buy Rooms to Go. Get one-stop shopping plus decorating made easy. That's Rooms to Go. And by Jack in the Box. Try Jack in the Box's popcorn chicken combos for $5.99. Get it classic, spicy, or 50-50. Top of the order, due up for the Astros in this 1-0 game. It has been a pitcher's duel between Noah Syndergaard and Justin Verlander. Verlander has had to work hard the last couple of innings with 2 runners on in the 4th and second and third and 1 out in the 5th, and got Ohtani and Mike Trout to end that inning. As Jose Altuve will lead off and take a called strike on the slider. It's 0-1.
That was some vintage Justin Verlander being tested in that situation, and he stepped up. That was beautiful to see. Be nice if the offense could come back and answer and score some more runs for him. Take the lead.
And they had 13 runs last night. Tonight they have been shut out by Syndergaard. Altuve Has hit into a double play and flied out. Justin Verlander talking with pitching coach Josh Miller. Appears his night might be over. Verlander's at 80 pitches on the night. Christian Javier begins warming up as this inning starts. Javier, one of the 2 Astros relievers who has not appeared in the game yet.
I wouldn't be upset with that. That was a laborious inning for him. Some high leverage at bats against some big time hitters here in the big leagues, and he fought through it, won the battles. It'd be nice to have him watch the team put up some runs and then go to that bullpen and have them finish it off.
Up the middle past Syndergaard, but right there is Matt Duffy to make the play. One second baseman throws out the other. Altuve retired for the first out of the 6th. Well, if in fact it is the last batter that Verlander faced, what a night it was. 5 innings of 1-run baseball and getting Ohtani and Trout. You could tell those some more 94-mile-an-hour fastballs that last inning. Fatigue was probably setting in, and a guy who wasn't feeling 100% all week gutted it out and pitched his way to a 1-run 5-inning game tonight. Yeah,
it's one thing to go out there after Tommy John surgery, and then you add a little flu-like symptom, not feeling your best, and then you go out there and have to reach back in that last inning and touch 94 to 96 to get through it. Pretty impressive stuff.
If Astros fans are wondering which JB we're going to see, it doesn't look like he has missed a beat since we saw him in July of 2020. Quite a first outing for Verlander. He will get another starter in this road trip in Seattle. If they stay on rotation, Verlander would start the 2nd game of that 3-game series in Seattle. That would be a week from tonight. Astros have an off day Monday and an off day Thursday prior to and right after the Diamondback series. Luis Garcia would be in line to start game 1 in Arizona, and Framber Valdez game 2 with Jake Odorizzi getting the first start in Seattle. They stay in the rotation, which they have not said any different to this point. Brantley takes one outside. Michael Brantley looking for his first hit tonight. Michael came into the game 3 for 9 on the season with a couple of doubles. He has flied out and grounded out.
Be nice if Noah could give Brantley something he can handle right here and shoot a gap, run himself into scoring position, and let the guys behind him drive him in.
That is outside, ball 4. Second walk allowed by Syndergaard. Download the MLB app to get video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Houston Astros on the MLB app. Here's Niko Goodrum. Just the 16th time in his career he has been hitting in the 3 spot in a lineup. 12 of those previous 15 times came in 2018 as a member of the Tigers. Filling in tonight with Aledmys Diaz moving from first base to third base to give Alex Bregman a night off. And last night Diaz was the first baseman, giving Yuli Gurriel time to go back home, be on the paternity leave. As Joe Madden was a little bit of stall tactics there, sent Stassi out to talk to Syndergaard. Syndergaard's at 76 pitches. The fans are not going to like this pitching change because they feel like Thor's got more left, but Joe Madden has seen his pitcher pitch brilliantly for 5 1/3 innings. He'll get a big hand in his first start as an Angel. The crowd here at Angel Stadium rises as he leaves leading 1-0. Reliant. Here are tonight's clues. National League Ironman, secret agent man, diverse sporting background. Name that Astro, powered by Reliant. National League Ironman, secret agent man, diverse sporting background. If you know it or you think you know it, send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Tonight's Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. Niko Goodrum, switch hitter, will be turned around to face the left-hander Aaron Loup.
Saw the veteran left-hander in the first game, opening day of the season against the Houston Astros. Through 1 inning, Didn't give up much of anything. Had a strikeout mixed in there. You can see in 65 games with the Mets, he was 6-0 with a .95 ERA. Got himself a nice contract. Brings a little bit of the funk. He'll step towards that left-handed hitter and bring that sidearm cross-body action.
One former Met replaces another as Syndergaard leaves after 5 1/3 innings, and Luke takes over. Nico Goodrum turning around to hit right-handed. Grounded out a couple of times as a left-hand hitter against Syndergaard. Over his career, Goodrum has had better numbers as a right-hand hitter. An OPS about 180 points higher against lefties than righties. He misses that cutter in. It's 1-1. Luke will throw sinker, cutter, a lot of cutters to righty. Righties also throw that changeup to righties as well. 34-year-old lefty, one of the 2 lefties in Joe Maddon's bullpen. Brantley on first base after a walk with 1 out. Counts 1-2. Syndergaard impressive tonight in his Angels debut. Astros managed 2 hits. He did walk 2 Houston Astros, Pena in the 2nd inning and Brantley in this inning, and then hit Castro in the 5th. The Astros have not had much traffic, only 1 base runner reaching second base. Take there.
Yeah, it was.
Trying to get him to chase the changeup at 2-2, and now Goodrum has the count full.
Well, everything was breaking in, and then pretty good decision to throw that changeup in a tough spot, but a good take by Nico.
Brantley on the go, and Goodrum fouls one back. Brantley got a late start.
Ooh.
Loop's a little deceptive with that delivery. Brantley's having a tough time picking him up, but the Astros moving the runner, trying to stay out of a potential double play, but he also put the potential for a double play in a different fashion in play. They're counting on Goodrum to make contact here if they send Michael Brantley. He goes late again, and this one's fouled back again. Nice catch by a fan to the right of us.
You've got to hold your ground against left-handed pitching and make sure they're pitchers and make sure that they are going home before you release and go to second base.
Brantley stayed that time. It was a good thing. Goodrum goes down swinging. And that's the 2nd out. First strikeout, the first batter for Luke.
Moving that cutter all over the place. Wanted it down and in. It ended up being elevated and out over the plate. Still enough to get Goodrum.
So now Luke will face Yordan Alvarez. Luke faced Alvarez in the opener, got him to ground out to second base. Yordan has grounded out twice today into the shift. Picks up a strike on the inside edge. There's another ground ball into the shift. This time they'll flip to second on the force out. Duffy to the third baseman Rendon covering, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 6th inning. A walk, 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Verlander pitched well, but he'll leave trailing 1-0.
Game summary. We're going to take a look at what Justin Verlander did tonight. 624 days between starts. He is back, and it was all too familiar for Astros fans who've seen him do this before, working 5 innings, allowing just the 3 hits, the 1 solo shot he allowed to Jared Walsh. Other than that, 7 strikeouts. Looking good, looking strong, and this is, we'd also heard he came in a little under the weather, been dealing with that for the past couple of days, but he worked through that 5th inning, had some traffic to get around, and he sure did. Blummer, what'd you see with the strikeouts tonight?
I'll tell you what I saw, some good velocity out of the right arm of Justin Verlander, feeling comfortable, but also a couple of those sliders really snapping off to that inside corner. It's good to see him getting to that glove side with those pitches, because there's really that extension and reaching and throwing through the strike zone, which is beautiful to see from Justin Verlander in some high leverage situations. And the call to the bullpen is presented by Crawford Bach, and we get a chance to see Christian Javier make an appearance here in 2022.
25-year-old made his 3rd consecutive opening day roster, appearing for the first time this year. Split his time between the bullpen and the rotation last year. Also face Anthony Rendon, who hooks a foul down the left field line. Javier last year 27 relief appearances. And of pitchers who pitch at least 90 innings in the American League, no one had a lower opponent's average against than Christian Javier. Allowed 67 hits and 101 in the 3rd innings. That's a 186 opponent's average. That went upstairs. See his repertoire: fastball, slider, curve, and change. Averages about 94 on the fastball, about 81 on the slider. Those are his 2 primary pitches. The other 2, curve and change, coming about a total of 10% of the time. Swing and a miss by Rendon, 2-2. Javier, first appearance of 2022. The Astros used 3 relievers in game number 1, and they used 5 relievers last night. They have 10 relievers. Nobody's pitched twice so far. Javier and Ryan Stanek, the only 2 before tonight who had not pitched in a game this year. Called 3rd strike, inside corner. Rendon called out on strikes. Javier, the first batter he faces this year, picks up a strikeout.
Froze Rendon, this slider backed up a little bit. It looked like it was going to maybe move in off the inside corner, but just enough spin on it to stay on that inside corner. And credit home plate umpire Jansen Visconti for staying with this and seeing it on the plate and giving Christian Javier that first strikeout of the season.
That slider had an 0.89 batting average against last year. There's a ball off the end of the bat. Jared Walsh has his 2nd hit of the night. Walsh, the difference in this game. A solo home run, his first time up to lead off the 2nd inning. Now he singles the other way. He's 2 for 3 on the night. He's 5 for 11 on the season. Matt Duffy. Justin Verlander tonight ends up with those 5 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball. Had to pitch through some trouble there, especially in that last inning. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, struck out Ohtani looking. You got Mike Trout to fly out to center field. That strikeout of Ohtani was the 3rd of the night against Shohei. His 7th of the evening, where Justin ended up 7 strikeouts, 3 walks tonight. All in all, the Astros have to be very pleased with what they saw in Justin Verlander's return to the mound.
Absolutely. Strong 5 innings. Had to battle through some traffic and adversity, facing some of the MVPs at the top of that lineup and battled through them. I think the biggest key now is just how does he feel tomorrow, and that's always what it's going to be moving forward, is how does he recover from these outings. And once he recovers from them, then it's just prepping for the next one. But very exciting to see him back on the mound in an Astros uniform doing things like we saw tonight. Getting the swing and miss when he needed it. Looks to be in great shape.
624 days, by far the longest layoff between starts of his career. There's a nice breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. His next start will not come for another week just because of the 2 off days. Astros in a 5-man rotation. The Angels actually are in a 6-man rotation. But Justin won't pitch until Saturday in Seattle. They stay in line the way they are now. Even though Noah Syndergaard last year pitched a couple of times for the Mets, he threw 1 inning in each outing and only threw fastballs and changeups, didn't ever throw anything with a wrinkle. So tonight was a big night for him too, and I think both guys coming back from Tommy John surgery answered the bell in a positive way. Everybody curious what Noah Syndergaard and Justin Verlander were going to look like, and here we are in a 1-0 game.
Lived up to what we thought it was going to be. True pitching duel.
Verlander going 5, Syndergaard going 5 1/3. Just a Jared Walsh swing of the bat, the difference in this game.
And as good as Noah Syndergaard was, it wasn't what we're accustomed to seeing Noah Syndergaard do.
Swing and a miss,
Great
got him
pitch.
with the fastball up. Duffy goes down swinging. Christian Javier has struck out 2 in the inning.
Did a good job right there. He's kind of sitting at 92, 93, and on that pitch where he put Duffy away, blew it past him at 95. And we talk a lot about spin rates, and Christian Javier is another one of those high spin rate fastball type guys. Just blew it past Duffy.
And we saw Syndergaard really mix up his pitches tonight.
Yeah, there was a clean mix. I mean, it was basically 25% sinker, 25% four-seam fastball, 25% slider, and 25% changeup. But a lot of pitches down in the zone. Only 1 strikeout on his line.
There have not been many Syndergaard outings where he's gone 5 1/3 innings with only 1 strikeout.
Yeah, you're more accustomed to seeing the 10 punch-out evenings with 5 1/3. But what was crazy also is he induced 11 ground ball outs. That was a ton.
Jose Rojas bats with a runner on first and a 0-1 count. Javier just appeared once in a spring training game at the big league level, tossing a couple of scoreless innings. Did pitch in a minor league game a week ago. Went 3 innings in that outing. So he's a guy who is fully stretched out. You can see him take the ball in the 6th, 7th, and depending on where the score is, maybe even into the 8th. All the guys who pitched on the opener on Thursday, well rested and ready to go after last night. Phil Maton, Hector Neris, and Ryan Presley. Neris, Presley, and Maton would all be working with a day's rest. Dusty was asked right now if he would consider going back-to-back with guys early in the season. He said the only relievers he would like to use in back-to-back games are guys that pitched in winter ball. Might see Ronel Blanco go back-to-back. For the most part, you won't see a Ryan Presley or a Ryan Stanek or a Phil Maton, at least early on in the season, go back-to-back until these guys continue on and almost have their extended spring training here in the first week of the regular season. And the Astros aren't the only team dealing with that. There's a lot of teams around baseball that are happy to have 28 players on their roster due to the fact that guys aren't stretched out and bullpen guys, for the most part, aren't comfortable going back-to-back yet.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask early because they haven't had that extended amount of spring training opportunities, because much like we see starters try and push themselves into that 75-plus pitch range, when you know as a reliever's ready in spring training is when you give them those back-to-back days in spring to make sure that they are ready to battle back and give you back-to-back outings.
Runner on the move, pitches high, Castro's throw on the money again. Jason Castro, 2 for 2 and caught stealings. He gets Jared Walsh to end the inning.
Jason Castro, the veteran, bouncing from behind home plate. You've already got the machete. Now you got the axe, cutting people down at second base. That was beautifully done.
10,000 fans will take home their own Alex Bregman Colt 45's throwback jersey presented by Coca-Cola. Enjoy the game and giveaway. Find tickets at astros.com/promotions. DK?
All right, Julia, that could be an early preview, very early preview of a potential ALCS matchup. The Toronto Blue Jays, one of the favorites in the American League. They're off to a 2-0 start with a couple of come-from-behind wins against the Texas Rangers. The Astros 2-0 heading into tonight's play. This is the final game still going on the Major League schedule. There was a lot of Saturday day baseball today around the Major Leagues. Some other games out in Denver and Phoenix were played earlier tonight, a little earlier start than what we have. So this is it. 1-0, seventh inning. Angels and Astros. Aledmus Diaz leading off, facing Aaron Loup. Diaz 0 for 2 tonight against Noah Syndergaard. And it's up to the bullpens from here in a 1-run game.
I like that matchup for the Astros. Bullpen getting roughed up in this series in the first 2 games against Astro hitters.
Last night, the Angels used 5 different pitchers, including their starter Reed Detmers, and every one of the 5 allowed at least 2 runs. Detmers allowed 2 in 4 innings. Oliver Ortega 2 in 2 innings. Mike Myers 3 runs without an out. Jamie Herget allowed 4 in the third of an inning, and then Jaime Barria 2 and 2/3 of work. Well, here's Luke facing a right-hand hitter. He's fallen behind Aledmus Diaz 3-0. Kyle Tucker waits on deck.
And that goes back to what we were talking about with the Astros bullpen and the idea of not using guys on back-to-back nights. Joe Madden went all in on that opening day game where the Astros ended up winning 3-1 to use some of his best relievers and forced to use some of the other guys that got roughed up in last night's ball game.
On the ground towards Rendon at third. Diaz on the high throw. He's safe. Aledmus Diaz off the high throw by Rendon. Got to the bag before Jared Walsh could recover. And the Astros have a leadoff base runner.
Rendon is one of the more sure-handed and throwing third basemen. Really having his offense is going to help, but they thought that having that defense out there would make them that much more sure-handed. And that throw taking Walsh off the bag allowed him no opportunity to get back because of the hustle of Aledmus Diaz. So I credit Aledmus Diaz for recognizing the situation and hustling a little bit.
Got to the inside of the bag to beat the tag by Jared Walsh. So Rendon on a routine play throws it high, and the Astros have the tying run on base. Here's Kyle Tucker. Tucker takes one inside for a ball. Tucker single, stole a base his first time up. He's also grounded out. Tucker's faced Luke 3 times, has a couple of hits in his career against somebody. He waves and misses at that slider away. It's 1-1. Ryan Tepera warming up in the Angels bullpen. Astros greeted Tepera rudely in the opener with a couple of home runs back-to-back. Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez.
A couple lightning bolts for outs too. He wasn't fooling anybody.
And Yuli hit one to the track. Tucker hit one to the wall. Jeremy Pena hooked one just foul. The Astros nearly hitting 5 consecutive home runs. 2 for sure, 2 warning track balls, and a just foul from that guy Jeremy Pena. Pena coming off a huge night last night. Single home run and a double. Imagine Tepera is probably loosening up to face Pena. We'll see. 2-1 pitch foul at the plate, 2-2.
Tucker is so impressive. Left on left. Tough lefty like this. Kind of took a wild swing earlier, but he makes the adjustment from pitch to pitch, and he knows exactly what to tweak, what to keep the front shoulder closed, where to move his eyes to pick up the release point from a tough guy like Aaron Loup. It's impressive. He does not give away at bats.
Tucker in his career has been equal opportunity. He has hit just as well against lefties and righties. You're right, Loup is such a tough guy because of that angle. It starts on the first base side of the rubber. There he is, staying in there, hooks one foul. Nice catch by that lefty with a glove in the front row. Diaz reached on an error. The Astros trying to take advantage. Again, they've only had one runner reach second base. That was when Tucker stole second base back in the second inning. In the air, loop towards left field, slicing towards Brandon Marsh. He will put it away. Diaz busts the tag, but he will hold up. Tucker retired for the first out of the seventh inning. And as Jeremy Pena will stride to the plate, Joe Madden steps out of the dugout. He's going to make a call in the bullpen. Aaron Loup retires the lefty Kyle Tucker. Madden will bring in Ryan Tepera to face Jeremy Pena when we come back in this 1-0 game.
Results from tonight's Chevy Stroh poll. While we have a chance here, we want to thank you for following at AT&T Sportsnet SW. That's where you vote. We asked what your favorite Justin Verlander game as an Astro was, and the no-hitter's going to win. Just beating Game 6 of the ALCS by 50% for that third career no-hitter for Justin against Toronto. Thanks again for voting, and we've got Jeremy Pena due up here, who's coming off a great night, a 3-hit night, getting that first knock, first major league home run. He was still on cloud 9 about it today, even though he wanted to really kind of focus on what was going on. He did say he had a nice moment with his family. Robinson Cano, someone who knows this guy's going to be a star. So many people talking about it, but here's Robbie saying he's an athlete. He can run, he can move, hit for power too. For me, he has all the tools. He's going to be a superstar for sure. And you know, Pena likes to hear that. Pena also talked about just how much the team helped him in that second game. First game as well, but he said the team helped me come with a plan of attack today, and that's what helped me. So he's leaning on the guys around him, TK.
Cano and Pena teammates for Estrellas this winter, as Pena shoots one to center field, but Mike Trout is there, backs up a couple of steps. Pena hit the ball hard on the first delivery from Ryan Tepera, but he lines out for out number 2 of the inning.
Man, the Astros against Tepera. It's just been hard hit baseballs, either out of the ballpark or outs. 103.3 off the bat of Jeremy Pena.
Tepera, 34-year-old who pitched with the Cubs and the White Sox last year after a late July trade, takes over here in a 1-run game facing Jason Castro. This qualifies as close and late, right?
But you better believe it. And this is the right guy to have up.
1140 OPS last year in close and late situations for Jason Castro. Grounded out and was hit by a pitch against Noah Syndergaard. That one bounces in there. It's 1-1. Tepera went to Sam Houston State from Rasmuswood High School, south of Houston. Pitched with Toronto, the Cubs, and the White Sox in his career. Allowed a couple of home runs Thursday. Well, Bregman has got him the last 2 times he's faced him. Yordan Alvarez got him the first time ever he faced him. Now it's 2-1 on Castro. Castro, only time he faced Tepera, he was hit by a pitch. throw that cutter a lot more to right-hand hitters than lefties.
Yeah, he threw that changeup to Jordan. He deposited about 420 to center field. He'll use that changeup primarily to left-handed hitters.
Castro with a 2-1 count. Diaz on first base. This is a fastball 2-2.
Good fastball to hit right there.
Trying to hold up on a pitch down and in. He goes around, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 7th inning. An error, one man left on base. The Astros offense continues to struggle. Just 2 hits so far through 7 innings. It's 1-0 Angels, middle of the 7th. We'll head to our rooms to go lounge. Kevin Eschenfelder, take it away. Tonight's clues. Hector Neris, who led the National League in relief appearances in the last 5-6 seasons now, signed with the Astros in the offseason. Played baseball, chess, basketball, and volleyball growing up. Hector Neris, we might see him at some point tonight. Tonight's Name That Astro, powered by Reliant.
Chess is a sport.
It is now.
I like it.
A cerebral sport.
Some mental gymnastics.
6 hits combined tonight. Not a whole lot of offense for either side. Christian Javier trying to keep it exactly that way as he'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Jose Rojas, Max Stassi, and Brandon Marsh. Rojas has lined out and struck out. Astros trying to do to the Angels somewhat similarly to what they did to the A's last year. If you remember, the A's came off that 2020 shortened pandemic season as the American League Western champions. And the Astros went into Oakland to open up last season, and they took all 4 games from the A's and kind of made an early statement. Now the Angels are not coming off a division title, not by any stretch. They finished 4th for 4 consecutive years, but a lot of people felt like they were
Contender.
the toughest competition, maybe along with Seattle in the AL West, and the Astros have come into Anaheim and won the first 2 games. Dusty's team trails here tonight, but they're trying to make an early statement against a team that might be trying to take that crown from them in the AL West.
Yeah, last season that was destructive, the way they ran through the Oakland A's. Yeah, if they're able to win 3 out of 4, take 4 out of 4, definitely be another statement to start out a season here in the American League West by the Houston Astros.
Ever since the Astros have joined the American League, they have had some very good success against the Angels with a 98-66 record.
Yeah, there's 4 other teams in the West that want realignment real bad.
Ground ball past Javier, but in the shift, there's Jeremy Pena. He records the out on Jose Rojas. Rojas was the batter last inning of Jared Walsh. Caught stealing to end the inning. Talking about projections, here are the 5 different projections for the Astros season. All within the same general vicinity of 90, 91, 92 wins, all within 3 games of each other.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing we like to see is them ending up in first place. All of those projections do have the Astros between 89 and 92 wins, but the biggest thing is on that right-hand side of the American League West, finishing first and continuing their dominance in the West.
Ball catches the top of the zone against the former Astro Max Stassi, who doubled his last time up. One of the 3 hits allowed by Justin Verlander. Ball foul, and Javier ahead of the count 0-2. Early on in the American League West, the Mariners have gone into Minnesota and won 2 games against the Twins. They were snowed out of their opener on Thursday, but they have won back-to-back games. The Angels, of course, have dropped 2 here to the Astros. The Rangers have had leads against Toronto twice and lost both of their games. And the A's have gone into Philadelphia and lost both of their games. So the Astros 2-0, the Mariners 2-0, and the other 3 teams starting the year 0-2. Javier in the second inning of work, struck out 2 last inning. Also after a single, picked up a caught stealing to end the inning. Going up and in. 2-2 the count. After Stassi, there are 3 consecutive left-hand hitters in a row in the Angels lineup, and the lefty Blake Taylor has started to loosen up. So this could be the final batter for Javier. Taylor appeared in last night's game, pitched 2/3 of an inning through 16 pitches. Angels have finished 4th 4 consecutive years. Swing and a miss. Stassi goes down swinging. Christian Javier has struck out 3 of the 5 batters he has faced and has 2 outs here in the 7th.
Time now for our league leaders, presented by Houston Methodist. Best record versus their own division since 2017. The Houston Astros above the LA Dodgers at 222 and 124. That's good for a 642 winning percentage, with 21 points better than the Dodgers. The Guardians doing damage within their own division. But pretty amazing stuff. The Astros moving to the American League, there was cause for concern, but just a couple of years later, they turn it into their own division and have been running the show out here.
4 out of 5 division titles. You mentioned teams in the league that are teams within the division hoping for realignment. They might not get realignment, but they will get a little bit of a more balanced schedule next year, which will mean
go ahead.
The Astros and teams within their division will only face each other 2 trips to each city as opposed to 3.
Yep.
So 19 games gets reduced down to 12 or 13 games. And that makes a big difference at the end of the year. Beginning next year, the anticipation is that everybody will play. American League teams will play every team in all of baseball. They'll play a series with every National League team, and only 4 total series against their AL West brethren, as Javier gives up a base hit here to Brandon Marsh. Marsh on base for the 3rd time tonight. A couple of walks and now a 2-out single. Blake Taylor, the lefty, continues to warm up as Tyler Ward, the lefty, will stride to the plate. Dusty Baker having a lefty out there, he wanted to see if Javier could retire the lefty Brandon Marsh and get through the clean 7th inning, but he doesn't, so he will go to the lefty Taylor here. We're going to have a pitching change, 2 outs in the 7th inning. It'll be our Crawford Bach call into the bullpen. Blake Taylor will take over for Christian Javier when we come back.
Like the team to beat. And Altuve breaks down the keys to another title run. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the post-game show and all season long, only on AT&T Sportsnet. New pitcher for the Astros, TK.
Yeah, Blake Taylor, Julia, the Astros lone lefty in the bullpen, will take over here with 2 outs in the 7th.
Blake Taylor made his first appearance of the season yesterday. earning a hold, going 2/3 of an inning, allowed a hit, had a strikeout in that outing last season in 51 games. Was a real workhorse. Great ERA at 3.16, averaging 93 miles an hour on his fastball. Secondary pitch he has is that slider.
He'll face a pinch hitter here as he was brought in to face the lefty Tyler Wade, but Joe Madden counters with David Fletcher. Fletcher starting the first 2 games at shortstop for the Angels, coming in off the bench for a pinch hit appearance and rips one into and out of the Angels dugout.
Yeah, plenty of options from the right side on that bench for Joe Madden.
Fletcher 1 for 7 on the young season. His one hit was a triple to score the only run of the opener on Thursday night. A line drive that got under the glove of Yordan Alvarez in left field. That ball is ripped but foul, and Fletcher's been ahead of a couple of pitches from Taylor, down on the count 0-2. We've talked about the family members that are on hand tonight for Justin Verlander, and coming out from Rhode Island for Jeremy Pena, Blake Taylor, kid who was born in Orange, California, and currently lives in Mission Viejo. And transitioning towards Houston. He's got a home in Houston that he spends part of the offseason in as well, but he has a lot of friends and family out here for this series against the Angels.
Yeah, this is basically his backyard.
Town is Dana Point, big mecca for surfers out here.
Yeah, there's some good breaks down there, especially if you head a little bit south down there on PCH and head into San Clemente.
Nice.
So I've heard.
That's some SoCal knowledge up here. Well, Blake trying to keep this a 1-run game. The Astros in the 8th inning will have their number 9 hitter due up, Chas McCormick, in the top of the order. 6 outs to work with. They have not generated much offense one night after pounding out 13 runs against the Angels. Fletcher, if you haven't been told before on our broadcast, the toughest to strike out in the American League. Just 1 strikeout every 11.1 plate appearances last year. Taylor not concerned with a strikeout, just trying to get the final out.
Yeah, there's a good chance that Fletcher's going to put it in play. Just make sure it's on the ground to one of your infielders and get out of this inning.
That one's in play towards right. Kyle Tucker drifts back, has room, puts it away, and that will do it for the Angels in the 7th. Been a low-scoring contest tonight. Astros looking for some offense, trailing 1-0 after 7. The 21 American League Championship with the ALCS Ring Plan. Secure your tickets for every ALCS replica ring giveaway and collect all 8 throughout the year. Get your ring plan today at astros.com/ticket plans. Celebration was on last year in the 2021 postseason. The Astros here tonight, trailing 1-0 as we head to the 8th. Ryan Tepera, who got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, will face the number 9 hitter Chas McCormick. McCormick 1 for 2 tonight. He's faced Tepera twice and has a couple of base hits against him. Not tonight in his career. This one outside for a ball, 1-0. We'll see if Chas can get something started. Astros have had 1 runner reach second base tonight. That was Kyle Tucker back in the 2nd inning. That was Syndergaard, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batter in 5 1/3 shutout innings. Aaron Loop out of the bullpen picked up 1 inning of shutout baseball, and now Ryan Tepera, 2 outs in the 7th, starting the 8th, and he gets a swing and a miss on the slider. It's 1-1. McCormick, then Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley.
Chaz has got some pop going the other way. It's going to be a little bit tougher here in a 1-2 count. I was thinking if he was able to get a slider that could stay on the plate, he might have the ability to drive it in that opposite field gap. Get some extra bases. Already a couple of doubles under his belt this season.
That guy wants a chance tonight.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Got the batting gloves on. Bat ready. Home runs in the first 2 games of the year for Alex Bregman, getting a rest tonight. That one misses outside. Good take, 2-2.
There's a left-hander Quijada getting loose out there in that bullpen for the Angels. So Joe Madden seems to be hoping that Tepera can get through McCormick, Altuve, and then bring in the lefty to face Brantley. And then if you're looking ahead, maybe the possibility with runners in scoring position that you see Alex Bregman in that 3rd spot pinch hitting.
Look out.
Hey.
Up and in. McCormick hits the deck and the count's full. David Fletcher, who pinch hit for Tyler Wade, has stayed in the game. He's at shortstop for the Angels. We're seeing fastball running high and tight. All sliders for the most part, and then a 4-seam fastball up and in. See if he goes back to the slider here. Challenge him with a fastball, and it's fouled away. It stays 3-2.
Good job fighting that pitch off. So a couple of pitches inside now. It might set up for that slider that TK is talking about. But again, if it's on the plate, he's got to make a pretty good pitch with it, or just show a little more deception. Chaz does have power to all fields.
Looks like they might want that slider away. See if Chaz offers at it. Swing and a miss. Kind of backed up on the plate. Tepera picks up a strikeout. That's the 2nd strikeout and 1 out here in the 8th.
That was a cement mixer that didn't get hit. It backed up a little bit. Chaz went for it, just unable to stay on it.
Well, Jose Altuve will get an at bat. Altuve 0 for 3 tonight. Astros still with just 2 hits. Kyle Tucker is single in the 2nd inning, and Chaz McCormick an infield hit in the 3rd. We've now gone through the lineup 2 times without a hit. Castro hit by a pitch. Brantley walked, and Diaz reached on an error, but no hits since Altuve batted in the 3rd inning. 1-0 the count to Altuve as he takes one down and away. 2-0. Angels bringing Ryan Tepera over in the offseason. Pitched with the White Sox and the Cubs last year. They tried to add some arms to that bullpen. Archie Bradley coming over after pitching in Philly last year. A lot of former Reds in this bullpen now. Michael Lorenzen, part of the pitching staff. Angels have had some issues with their bullpen the last few years, and they're trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2014. They've missed 7 in a row. They've only been in the playoffs once in the last dozen years. Incredible when you consider some of the talent out on the field. 2-1 pitch is in the air, shallow right field. Jose Rojas comes in and puts it away. Altuve retired for the 2nd out. Now time for a message from TXU. Ryan Tepera will stay in this game and face Michael Brantley. The lefty Quijada is ready. Joe Madden will go with Tepera here. Brantley's only faced him once in his career. He does have an RBI double. And he grounds one to the right side. Charging is David Fletcher, the new shortstop, in the shift over at second base, and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Tepera. He rebounds after a tough opener and retires all 5 tonight. The express written consent of the Houston Astros. Well, here we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. A 1-run contest. Alex Bregman had most of the night off, but he has entered the game defensively for the Astros here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. We'll move Aledmus Diaz from third base over to first base. Diaz taking over for Nico Goodrum, who leaves the game. So Bregman will bat in the 3 spot. He'll lead off next inning. In the 9th. New pitcher for the Astros here in the bottom half of the 8th inning is Ryan Stanek.
72 games last season for the Astros, put up a 3.42 ERA, doing a great job of setting up for Ryan Presley. The opponent batting average at 187. He is a fastball slider split guy. When he is right, that split is filthy. He is the hardest thrower in that Astros bullpen. Last season, averaging 97.7 miles an hour with that fastball, and still has the great flow.
Has a great flow, about a year further along. It is luscious as he faces Shohei Ohtani here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Hard hit, but Pena is there to his left, gloves it. That was a hard hit ground ball, and Pena makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out, bottom half of the 8th inning. Stanek's first appearance of 2022. He is the last of the Houston relievers to get into a game this year. And the one time we saw him this spring, he looked very impressive.
Yeah, baseball really jumps out of the right hand of Stanek. Once he was able to establish himself in that fastball in spring training, the split looked equally as great coming out of the hand.
Here's Mike Trout. Trout 0 for 3 tonight, all 3 at bats against Justin Verlander, including the last one with runners on second and third. Verlander escaped the jam by striking out Shohei Ohtani and getting Mike Trout to fly out to end that inning. Down and away, 1-1. Astros and Angels wrap up the series tomorrow. A pair of Jose's tomorrow. Jose Urquidy for the Astros, Jose Suarez, a lefty for the Angels. Game time will be 3:07 Central. Be on the air with our pregame show at 2:30. There's a good pitch on the outside edge, getting ahead 1-2.
Stanek going with the secondary pitches to get ahead of Mike Trout.
Justin Verlander pitched 5 innings. Christian Javier an inning and 2/3. Blake Taylor got the final out of the 7th inning, and now it's Stanek's turn. High drive, deep left center field, way up in the air towards the rocks, and that ball is gone. Up against the rocks in left center field, Mike Trout has hit his first home run of the season. And he gives the Angels an extra run of insurance. It's now 2-0.
Stanek challenged him with the fastball. To talk about how elevated in the zone, you have an opportunity to get to Mike Trout. This one down in the zone. And he barreled it up and launched it. Got extended on 99 and drove it out of there at 108.8. Estimated 445.
445?
Yes, sir.
That's a well-struck baseball. The Angels have hit a couple of balls hard tonight against Stanek. Ohtani grounded out at 104.1, and now Trout sends one over the wall at 108.8. Here's Anthony Rendon. Up and in, 1-0. So that extra run of insurance helps out Raisel Iglesias, the closer, who's warming up in the Angels bullpen. The Astros will have their 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Rendon 0 for 2 with a walk, takes a pitch Up and away, 2-0. Second home run of Trout's career against Stanek in 7 at-bats. No one's fouled back, 2-1. Couple of solo home runs tonight. Jared Walsh in the 2nd inning and Mike Trout in the 8th inning. Justin Verlander did a good job leaving a couple of runners on in the 4th and the 5th innings. The Astros haven't had many scoring opportunities tonight to counter those solo home runs. Slider misses away, 3-1. Rendon just 58 games last year, 52 the year before in the shortened pandemic season. Up and in. That is the second time Rendon has walked tonight. He's a one-out base runner here in the 8th.
Join the Astros on Tuesday, April 19th, as they take on the Los Angeles Angels. 10,000 lucky fans will take home a Yordan Alvarez AL Champion replica ring presented by Coca-Cola. Visit Astros.com/promotions today.
Here's Jared Walsh off to a good start in this series. 5 hits and 11 at-bats, including a home run tonight. Misses in, 1-0. That ball into center field, playable for Chas McCormick, who moves to his right, calls off Yordan, and makes the play. That is out number 2. Walsh retired. For the second out, looking ahead to the Astros in the 9th inning, Alex Bregman, who's taken over at third base, and Nico Goodrum's batting order spot will lead off, and Yordan Alvarez and Aledmys Diaz will follow. Kyle Tucker, if it goes beyond that. Marcel Iglesias had not pitched in either of the first 2 games of this series, with the Angels trailing. We've seen every other Angels reliever other than Iglesias. Here's Matt Duffy. Duffy 1 for 3. Takes one off the plate, 1-0. Duffy, a Cub last year, played 97 games for the Cubs. He had really spent the past 3 or 4 years prior to that dealing with a lot of injuries. He had hamstring issue, heel issue, Achilles issue. Spent 3.5 years with Tampa Bay and was not healthy for the majority of that time. After leaving the Rays, he was with the Rangers and the Yankees in their minor league system in 2020 before joining the Cubs last year. That one's off the plate, 2-1. Duffy getting a fresh start now in Los Angeles, Anaheim to be specific. 31-year-old infielder. Batted 4th in the opener, batting 5th behind Jared Walsh tonight. Catches the outside corner for a strike, 2-2.
It's tough right there. If he could do that again, that'd be real nice. 98 on the outside black.
misses away, and the count goes full. Stanek played with Duffy while with Tampa Bay, so matchup of former teammates. Count goes full. That means a head start for Anthony Rendon off first base here with 2 outs. Astros down 2-0. And outside with a fastball. Second walk of the inning. Eagles at first and second with 2 outs. Stanek will now face Jose Rojas.
Castro going to go out and talk to Ryan Stanek, calm him down a little bit after that home run from Mike Trout. Put 2 walks, kind of seeped in there, losing a little bit of command and staying away from the zone.
Game time temperature the first 2 nights, 93 degrees Thursday and Friday. Tonight, much more comfortable mid-70s at game time. Where are we now?
64.
There you go.
Yeah, this is pleasant.
So here's Rojas. 0 for 3 tonight. Starts him off with a splitter after the mound meeting. Rojas expecting to see fastball. It's 0-1.
Yeah, we've seen Jose Rojas be aggressive on the fastball early on. I think that's why we're starting to see some of the Astros pitchers throw the off speed early in counts. See that power split in there, and it dove underneath the swing of Jose Rojas.
High fly ball near the stands. Diaz gives it a look. He has room, and he can't quite make the play. Just behind him along the first base side. Looked like it was playable. He kind of got caught there on the edge of the railing.
Got to the wall in plenty of time, but I think once he anchored up against it, that's when that ball moved a little bit. Right there, as soon as he got stuck on it, it drifted back on him a little bit. Tough play when you get up against those railings, especially in the visiting ballpark. Trying to pick up Ryan Stanek and get him out of this inning, but unable to reach back and get it.
Pretty good pitch. 1-2. Missed with the splitter. Could have.
Real easily.
Pretty good night overall for Visconti behind the plate, but he has missed a couple of low pitches. Splitter foul, and it catches Jason Castro. This is like, could you just call that previous pitch a strike? I would have had to deal with this.
He just talked about how earlier in the game he has been moving so well behind there, coming out, throwing out 2 runners, and even with that pad, but that knee, when it gets squared up like that, hurts. Been doing it a long time too.
He has Jason Castro in his 11th opening day roster a couple of days ago. Stanek and Castro cycling through the signs. Runner on first is Matt Duffy. He walked. Runner on second, Anthony Rendon. He walked. This one in the dirt, smothered by Castro. It's 2-2. Phil Maton warming up in the Astros bullpen as The pitch count for Ryan Stanek approaches 25. They don't want to see Ryan throw too many pitches here in the first out. Stanek would like to get in the dugout and finish off this at bat by Rojas. Upstairs, 3-2. 2 outs, runners will be in motion.
This is where you start to think about pitch counts this early in the season after coming out of spring training. The next pitch will be number 25.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 98, top of the zone. Stanek strikes out Jose Rojas. Astros need a rally, and they will have Alex Bregman, the big man, Yordan Alvarez, and then Aledmys Diaz due up. Beyond that, Kyle Tucker. TV. Stream the Astros on AT&T Sportsnet with Fubo TV. Visit FuboTV.com for a free trial. By Toyota. Let's go places. And by Whataburger. Get the new Southern Bacon Chicken Sandwiches while you can, only at participating Whataburger locations. Don't forget, coming up after our game, it will be the Whataburger post-game show. Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton will break down this pitcher's duel. Not much offense for either side. Astros trailing 2-0 as we head to the 9th inning. They'll have highlights, interviews from the clubhouse, and reactions to this game as the Astros have just 2 hits and will now face the closer for the Angels.
Yeah, this has been a nice pickup for the Los Angeles Angels. Raisel Iglesias back into the bullpen. Brought him over from Cincinnati in 65 games last season. Record was 7-5, 34 of 39 in save opportunities. A beautiful ERA, sub-3. Throws hard, has that fastball around 95, 96 miles an hour. Has a very good changeup and slider to back that up. Against the Astros last season, he was 0-2 with 5 of 6 in save opportunities. That is 6.75 ERA in those 8 games he did face the Astros.
And the Astros were able to get to him better than most teams last year as Alex Bregman takes a called strike. Bregman batting for the first time tonight, came on defensively last half inning. Bregman pops one up. Iglesias will make the play himself in front of the first baseman Jared Walsh as they hug it out in front of the Astros dugout. That's out number 1.
Here's our All-State mayhem moment. Jason Castro behind home plate, cutting down Brandon Marsh, popping out from behind home plate, and he did it again later on. Great catch and throw to cut down Jared Walsh. A couple of big outs for Jason Castro, the veteran, popping out from behind home plate, making some strong throws.
You see Castro. Astros need some base runners to get to his spot in the lineup, but Castro has the best numbers of any Astro against Iglesias. Here's Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez takes a called strike. Yordan has grounded out 3 times tonight, twice to the second baseman in the shift, who's actually the shortstop. Once to the true second baseman up the middle, who's Matt Duffy. 1-1 the count. First 2 times Raisel faced the Astros last year, he ended up with a loss in a game here on April 6th. Astros scored 2 runs in an inning of work in the 9th and then picked up a blown save in his second outing against the Astros. But tonight he has 2 quick outs as Yordan grounds out for the 4th time tonight. This one into the shift, handled by the shortstop. David Fletcher makes the play, and there's 2 away. It's up to Aledmys Diaz to keep this game alive. The old adage of momentum sometimes is only as good as the next day's pitching coming true tonight. Last night the Astros pounded out 14 hits and scored 13 runs against the Angels. And a night later they're sitting on 2 hits here with 1 out remaining to work with. Levinas Diaz fouls one away. Syndergaard 5 1/3. Aaron Loop an inning. Ryan Tepera retired all 5 batters he faced. Now Raisel Iglesias. Gets ahead of Diaz 0-2.
Aggressive on that slider on the outside corner. Iglesias is good when he's right. That fastball in the mid-90s, but couple of very good secondary pitches.
Got him. Ball game over. 4-pitcher combined 2-hit shutout for the Los Angeles Angels tonight. The Angels win their first game of the year. The Astros drop to 2-1. Justin Verlander pitched very well. The Astros in general, you allowed 2 runs. You hope to win most of those games, but tonight, not much offense as they lose 2-0. We'll have more, including the post-game show, coming up right around the corner.